All right, today I'm going to be talking about the 8 stages of self-defense. This is something that I picked up from Sensei Jeffrey Miller out in Pennsylvania. So it's not something that I made up. It's something that I borrow and something that I used. And I think it's a good format to think about your self-defense as stages, not just one thing. It's an on-off switch, but stages you can go through. So the first stage of the 8 is general awareness. And I could go on to this for a long time, but I'm just going to talk real briefly about each. So the first stage is general awareness. This is kind of you always have a slight buzz and awareness of what's going on around you. You're not just looking at your phone or listening to music. You're paying attention to what's happening around you. You're not paranoid, but you're alert. You're aware of what's happening. And you're also assessing the situation, looking for things that are out of the ordinary. Being aware of the people, using, the knowledge of the area and what's happening and the people around you and what's, anything that seems strange, I guess. Then that after general awareness, you go into situational awareness. Now, situational awareness is basically, as the situation changes, what you pay attention to might change. So if you're driving, you're going to be paying attention to things on the road, whereas if you're at home, you're going to be paying attention to one thing. Or if you're on an airplane or in an airport, in a new city, in a foreign country, you'll be paying attention to different things. So as the situation changes, what you pay attention to has to change. Also, part of situational awareness is your gut feeling, your instinct, what you feel. If you get a strange feeling about something, usually that's kind of a subconscious thing that we pick up that doesn't really come into consciousness. And sometimes people push that out of the way and say, no, it's probably nothing. But really, it probably is something, so you should pay attention to it. And you want to, it's kind of your moment-to-moment sensory awareness. So in general awareness, you kind of have a buzz of what's going on around you and you use research-based knowledge of what's normal. And in situational awareness, it changes as the situation changes. You have a gut feeling and moment-to-moment sensory awareness of things. So those two things generally come first. You want to have the awareness of what's happening around you to protect yourself before you need to do anything. The third stage would be escape from danger. So knowing when you go someplace, knowing the places you can exit, knowing several places to exit so you just don't have one. And also having the ability to exit. You don't want to be put in a position where there are a lot of people around you and you can't exit or something like that. Even think about this. If you go to a party with people and they get into things you don't like and you drove with them, you want to have the ability to get out of there or do whatever you want to do. You don't want to be bound to a bad situation. So having the ability to exit, knowing where the exits are, to escape from danger before you even have to physically do anything. That's stage 3. Stage 4 and 5 are both de-escalation, but stage 4 would be distraction, de-escalation as a distraction. So this is controlling where their awareness and attention goes. You could change the subject, you could use humor, you could use misdirection, talk real loud, gain attention, yell. You could do things like that to distract them from what they want to do. So that's one thing. The other de-escalation, stage 5, would be dissuasion. So dissuasion is kind of talking them out of it. Now, 2 ways to dissuade them, the soft way and the hard way. The soft way is, come on, man, you don't want to do this. We don't want to get in trouble. We don't want the police to come. We don't want any troubles here. I'm sure you don't need that in your life. I don't need it. I just want to get out of here. That's the soft way. The hard way is, you might use some expletives and you point at them and you say, if you get near me, you're going to get knocked out. I'm going to hit you in the throat, whatever. I don't know. You probably wouldn't want to tell them what you're going to do, but something like that. You get real explicit about what's going to happen if they lay their hands on you. So soft way, hard way. And that's dissuasion. So we're dissuading them from doing anything, either the nice way or the hard way. Then the 6th stage is actually physically defending. That's all the physical defense techniques you learn. So think about this. You just went through 5 stages that could have stopped this before you even got to stage 6. So it shouldn't just happen. Although occasionally it does. Occasionally someone comes from out of nowhere and they do something to you, but that's rare. Most of the time you can see some trouble coming. You can feel it. You got a gut instinct. You should be paying attention. You should know some escapes. You should usually be able to get out of there. But stage 6 is physically defending. And, you can do it the soft way, which is, joint locks, choking them out, or the hard way, like through strikes, breaking their knee, hitting them in the throat, poking their eyes, things like that. But it has to be legally justifiable if you don't want to end up in jail yourself. Then there's 2 stages that Mr. Miller added after the fact. He added basically 7th stage, which is post-traumatic stress. So after you do this, you're going to have to deal with the stress that you might have. You might have some fear that comes up from all this. You might not want to go outside anymore. You might, get real paranoid after this or whatever. So you might have to deal with some mental, emotional, and psychological trauma. And you might also need to, heal yourself from any physical injury or trauma that happened to you from the incident also. And then the final 8th stage, the 2 stages after the physical defense, the PTSD, and then the 8th one would be any legal repercussions. So if you, think about this, if you do real severe force, especially deadly force, you're going to jail and the court's going to sort it out later because they need to. So the legal system might be involved and you might need a good attorney. It's a lot of effort. So believe me, only do self-defense if you need to. But if you need to, then you need to, and you need to do it. And you need to be bold. So don't be meek about it. But you don't also have to escalate to the highest, hard way to do it either. You can kind of work your way up that ladder often. But those are the 8 stages: general awareness, situational awareness, escape from danger, de-escalation, distraction, de-escalation, dissuasion, physically defending, post-traumatic stress, dealing with that, and dealing with the legal repercussions. So there you go, 8 stages of self-defense. Hope it was helpful. Like, share, and subscribe.